The night was quiet except for the sound of raindrops on the windshield. Ethan, a single father, was driving home after a long shift at the auto shop. His 7-year-old daughter, Lily, sat in the back seat humming softly, her little face pressed against the cold glass. She was the reason he kept going. Every choice he made, every extra hour he worked, was for her. They stopped at a small diner on the way home, one of those places where the neon lights flickered and the smell of coffee clung to the air. As they walked in, Ethan noticed a young waitress struggling to carry a heavy tray. Her uniform was faded, her hair pulled back in a messy bun, and her eyes looked tired, too tired for someone her age. She greeted them with a warm smile anyway, placing menus on the table. Throughout the meal, Ethan couldn't help but notice the way other customers treated her. One man snapped his fingers impatiently when she was a second late, another made a cruel remark about her appearance. She swallowed it all with the same tired smile. Lily, with the innocence only children carry, tugged at her father's sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, I want to help her." Ethan looked into his daughter's wide, pleading eyes. He thought about the countless nights he had struggled to make ends meet, about the people who had shown him kindness when he needed it most. When the bill came, Ethan reached into his wallet and left a larger tip than he could afford. The waitress's eyes filled with tears as she whispered, "Thank you." But Lily wasn't satisfied. She wanted to do more. The next day, while driving Lily to school, they passed the same diner. Lily begged to stop again. Ethan hesitated. He had bills piling up, overdue rent, and barely enough money to cover groceries. But something inside told him to listen to his daughter. Over the next few days, they visited often. Ethan learned the waitress's name was Claire. She was raising her younger brother alone after their parents had abandoned them. She worked double shifts to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table. Ethan felt a strange connection to people fighting battles they never asked for, doing everything they could to protect the ones they loved. Still, helping her came with risks. Every dollar he gave meant less for his own daughter. Friends warned him not to get involved, saying he had enough problems of his own. But Lily's words echoed in his heart, "Daddy, I want to help her." One night, Ethan found Claire crying behind the diner. Her landlord had given her an eviction notice. Without thinking twice, Ethan offered her and her brother a place to stay in his small apartment until she could get back on her feet. It wasn't much, 2 cramped rooms and barely enough space, but it was better than the streets. At first, it wasn't easy. Sharing the little they had stretched Ethan's already thin resources. There were nights he went to bed hungry so the kids could eat. He picked up extra shifts, his hands blistered and sore, his body aching. Still, he never complained. He knew what it meant to carry the weight of the world and still smile for the ones you love. Over time, something changed. The small apartment, once filled with silence, now rang with laughter. Lily adored Claire, and Claire's brother found a friend in her. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't feel like he was fighting alone. But challenges kept coming. Claire was offered a better job at another restaurant across town, but it meant longer hours and leaving her brother in Ethan's care. She hesitated, afraid of becoming a burden. Ethan looked at her and said, "You're not a burden. You're family now. Go chase this chance." With support, Claire took the job, and little by little, life began to change. She saved enough to rent a small apartment again, and her brother was able to stay in school without worry. Ethan, though still struggling, felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He had given, but in return, he gained something more valuable than money, trust, friendship, and a second chance at family. Years later, Lily would remember that rainy night, the flickering neon lights, and the waitress with tired eyes. She would remember how her father had risked everything, not because it was easy, but because it was right. And she would carry that lesson in her heart forever, that kindness, no matter the cost, has the power to change lives. The story of Ethan and Claire is not just about hardship, but about the courage to step forward when someone is hurting, even if you barely know them. It's about a father teaching his daughter that the measure of a good life isn't how much you keep, but how much you give. And all of it started with 7 simple words spoken by a child with a pure heart: "Daddy, I want to help her."